Hey everybody, welcome back to Trendy Trading. This is the afternoon. It is the close of the day. I don't always do this, but I wanted to go ahead and talk about the things that we went over this morning and then go over the end of the day in a summary. We don't have to go through all the trades. I already posted that in the room. We had like four winners or so. One SPX lotto at the end of the day that didn't work out. We lost 15 bucks on that. Not a big deal. I said over and over that it's very difficult to pin the action nowadays. Again, I'm not going to throw a lot of money at something like that, but it's fun to at least try. And if they work out, they typically pay you like anywhere from 5 to 10x. So I had to try. So, anyways, not a bad day. It was probably a difficult day if a couple things. If you didn't come in and listen to me, then you weren't coached and you really didn't know what to look for. We specifically went over the ES and what the market would do and how if price pushed over the PMZs, that would be your go-to. And we also talked about the neutral strategy. And this morning when we woke up, I specifically gave you these levels to the T. I said if 370.58 held, look for the next target, which was 373.81. You can see here on open that we pulled back. 370.58 did hold. We got this really nice chaotic candle. Our next target we're looking for is 377.72, which is the trendy edge. If we go back and at least look at today's action, you can see here that we closed between the bull channel of 38 and 23. Matter of fact, we didn't even come back and break the 50, and that's okay. Now we did close on a inside candle, and that could lead to an inside and up or inside and down. So tomorrow, 373.81, we'll be looking to see if that can hold, and then we'll be looking for targets at 377.72. Sorry, just had to walk away for 1 second here. All right, so over here on the QQQ, same thing. We said if 277.72 hold or held, we'd be looking for the target of 282.42. You guys can see that we did get somewhat of a push over that, but we ended up closing out the session just underneath that by about $1 or so. Same thing if we go ahead and create a fib of this pivot high. You will see that price actually closed down and held the 50. It tested the 50, which makes sense because today, when we measured this morning, this was lagging behind the SPY. So that makes sense to me. Okay, so tech just kind of doing its thing and had a really good day in Tesla and Google, those type of trades. So overall, the market looked pretty good. It closed up 2.33% on Qs. And you can see over here on the left, we closed up 2.52%. That was a $9 move in the SPY. When we open up the session, my call that I bought for tomorrow's expiration was actually negative. I thought it was going to be positive, so I was pretty surprised. That price did come back. We did go positive, and I went ahead and put a stop at our break-even price. So the trade itself was a wash. I think I might have made $1 or $2 on that trade, but other than that, it was fine. Our longer-term trade that I bought like 80 plus days out, that I based it off the skew. I went ahead and sold two. I had to stop at $10, but it was stopped at $9.98, I believe. Overall, that was a great trade as well. You may look at it and go, hey, we had 80 plus days, but in this market, I don't think there's any reason to argue about whether or not I should have held that trade. I do believe that was the best choice for my account. So I went ahead and closed that trade. It did well though, and so we had two positive SPY trades, and that was great to see. Let's go ahead and go over here to the ES futures. We'll look at that really fast. And because we talked about the 30-minute and the 4-hour, I really want to go over that with you really quick. First, before I do that, notice this beautiful trendy edge. Notice that we hit the yearly on the ES, but we didn't hit it on the SPY. That's because the ratios are different, okay? But regardless, that is a beautiful test of the yearly edge, folks. I can't make this up. When price is underneath it, it is resistance until proven otherwise. Also note that when we came down, that we went bid at the inside and up here, and also happens to be the weekly edge mid. This is very important. The trendy edges are working. Okay, and if you just wait for the levels and apply what I'm teaching you, it seems to me at least for today, this would have been profitable for you. And I'm sure many traders did well today. Looking at the 30-minute, it was important to me because uh, I told you as long as we could stay above this cloud, then we would work on the 4 hour. If you notice on the open, we went bid very quickly over the PMZ. And if you were looking at SPY or you could have been looking at TOS, we went bid very quickly over the PMZ. And then we pushed up into the edges and we took off from there. Then we hit the YE. And we just kind of stalled here. Again, if I were to measure this, we'd be hanging in the bull channel. So after a big run up, this is going to be consolidation. I would like the 618 of this measured move to hold. It's probably somewhere in here. I would like to see that hold and for us to continue our march up. When I'm looking up and to the left, again, the zone is up here. 3804 is the key to hitting that zone. If for some reason we open up into this zone tomorrow, again, we'll approach it just like we did today when we opened up at resistance. I'll coach you and show you what we're looking for. Yeah, so it wouldn't surprise me because it was a bullish day that it continue into tomorrow. I believe Jerome is going to speak. And because of that, it may be that the market gaps up into resistance and the whole day just kind of does something like this. Those are ugly, I apologize. And we just kind of wait for the decision, but we're resting right at resistance. And typically when we do this into a catalyst, the move is down. All right, so just something to think about. But again, we'll watch price. I don't like to try to guess. We'll do the if this, then that. Okay. So right now, target's 38.4. Above that, as long as we stay above there, can see 38.37. Again, that is ES futures. Now let's go ahead. That was the 30-minute. Let's look at the 4-hour. Well, I told you as long as we got into the 4-hour, as long as we held the bottom of that cloud, that we were looking for targets up and to the left. Up and to the left again was the WE, it was the YE, and all of those hit. You could see here that we almost hit right at the top of this cloud. We also talked about the cloud coming together and getting tighter. So to me, this kind of sets up for that moment for Jerome. So this may be the Jerome, if you would, channel. And either we break again to the upside or to the downside of that cloud when that time comes. Okay. What is the next thing we want to look at? We'll look at Amazon really quick. I did trim this position even though we have so much time because 40% is nothing to, nothing to ignore. I didn't know that the trade would work that fast, or maybe I had a hint. That's why I took the trade. But overall, once again, we're hanging out in the cloud on the 4-hour. If the trade gets over the cloud, just like if the SPY or the ES gets over the 4-hour cloud, then we got a whole different set of trendy trades in play, and that's called the ACDC. So once we get above the decelerator and can hold, that creates the ACDC, which tells us we're going to push up possibly to 123.40 within the month. So I'm very excited. I bought a butterfly because I don't want to trim anymore of the long position, but I still want to take advantage of Amazon. So I am targeting this inside and down here, and that's where I targeted with a butterfly. That butterfly would be considered a lotto because Amazon's not really moving much. I am willing to lose what I paid for it. I think we only paid 45 cents for that lotto. And I want to say that it pays out roughly 5 to 6x. I would have to look at it again. But that's if price moves over and actually hits this supply zone. Okay, so that is Amazon. The next thing that we traded was Walmart. And right now I'm studying some TTM squeeze by John Carter, and I am applying that to the trade in Walmart, and that's why I took the trade is for several different reasons, and I want to see if I can bring that up to you really quick so you can take a look here. And if you're not checking out my Twitter, which I really wish you would, because I need your support over there with likes and retweets to get, trendy more exposure. I want to grow during these hard times, and anything that you guys do to help me out there. I really appreciate. Let's go ahead and I could take a screenshot, honestly, and just do it like this. All right, so you can see here. Um, I've been studying the TTM squeeze. It's free. It's on Thinkorswim. He's had it out for many, 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 many years, and I've never actually used it. I think I put it on my chart once or twice, and then I took it off. And there's some reasons why I'm studying it, and again, we'll talk about those later. But I'm studying the TTM squeeze. I noticed the red dots. I got some feedback that, a lot of it, some people use when the pre-market session's on. Some people don't have it on. I've always used the pre-market session, so this should be interesting. I'm not going to turn it off, but I'm looking at it. I see the red dots, which tell me that there is a momentum, possibly a momentum trade coming. It turned blue, and in this case, it went green, which tells me the momentum's pushing up. Now, there's a couple things to learn from here. Because I'm looking at both indicators, and I was looking like, hey, when did this turn red? And it turned red. It did a good job because comparing it to trendy methodology and trendy edges, because it started to turn red towards the bottom of the edge here. And if I would have caught on to Walmart a lot sooner, we actually would have done really well this morning, because I would have been buying this squeeze plus the trendy edge and trading this up into the upper edge. So our target would have actually been here. Now this gave us a quick 50%. I didn't want to hold the trade because this is the small account, and I just want to kind of hit some base hits with you guys to make up for last week. We had a few losses over there. I think the account actually ended flat for the week on the small account. So I wanted to be able to, it was flat to down perhaps. But I wanted to be able to, start chipping away at that. And this is the reason I took the trade. It was breaking above supply, and it was getting a momentum squeeze. So I took that trade and just wanted to show you guys that, okay? All right, so we knocked out Walmart, we knocked out SPY, Amazon, and let's see here. We're still up on USO. I didn't even watch that chart at all today. I had a conditional order in. It wasn't hit, so I wasn't stopped out. We are still underneath the cloud. It did push up into the cloud as expected and right back down. I talked about it in a video yesterday that we were looking for a bounce, but this would probably be the area that price started to pull back, and indeed it did. It's very important to me right now that I continue to see that oil fades and energy. It is a very volatile, CL futures is very volatile, so it's hard to be too worried. I don't want you to get too worried like on the short side, because if you watch oil, you could get spooked out of a trade. So that's why I have a conditional order. And again, I feel like we have some really good options here. You've already made 80% on the trade. You're still profitable on the trade. And so really you could take a loss on this remaining position. You could just put it at a break even. There's a lot of things you could do, and you're still not going to lose money on this particular trade if you followed it the way that I took the trade. Okay. All right, so that's USO. Again, I don't want it to get over the trendy edge up here, but I do have a stop. I think my conditional stop is if it gets past where we bought the trade. Okay. That is USO. Pins, let's go ahead and take a look at that. So I noticed today some peculiar behavior in the options. And let me see if I can bring those over too. And let me see if I have an extra. Give me 1 second, I apologize. So we bought out to 2000, bought out to 2024, 577 days out. And here we are, this is what this looks like. So the first thing I noticed, it was actually right here and right here. When I came across this trade, so I was looking at the chart, and I was paying attention to the monthly, and we'll go to that here in a second. But what I noticed was there was 200 here. No, it might have been 400. There might have been 400 there and 400 here. Okay. And so I was like, huh, are they doing like a strangle like this far out? You know, just looking for a big move either way. We looked at a couple things, and the information that I was given is that somebody's actually buying here and selling these, and it's a debit. So they're buying here and selling here. So, I mean, they're bullish both ways. They don't think that it's going to drop below here, and they think this is a good strike to take, which is the 25s. You know, obviously, I have a lot of time here. This is a scale-in type of trade, meaning I'm willing to add, I think my figures that I wrote down in my journal, I'm willing to add here anywhere between like $1.50 and 2. So it can drop over 50-60%. I'm still okay with adding into this trade. I think Pinterest is still a very good target for a buyout. Just makes sense to me. I actually think Amazon would be a great buyer of Pinterest just because of the way their platform is. But again, that's just a big opinion on my part and means nothing as far as the trade goes. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at pins on a monthly and a 3-monthly chart. Sorry, quarterly. I said 3-monthly. It's been a long day. So this is what I like about it. This was a zone that I gave everybody a long time ago. And what I'm starting to see here is a rounding bottom. Okay. And it's not quite rounding yet. The only thing that we really have going for us is there's a higher low so far, but in this market, that could be knocked out very quickly. But this is the start of something good. A lot of times what you'll see is once we see this higher low, price could come up here and close within this body. So it'd be a very tight close. And then the next month, you would get some kind of inside and up, maybe a wick to flush out some people before it wants to head higher. And then you start to get a move like this towards this cloud here. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for at this moment. Again, if price wants to continue to pull back, I'm willing to add in this zone. We have so many days. This is the type of trade where you can't take a day trading mentality and try to apply it to this. I was explaining to someone today, this is like a savings account for me. So I already have a number in mind that I would put towards this trade. Let's just say that it's $2,000. Let's say that I bought one contract today for 400. I still have room to add until I get to this number. But the idea is that this is my savings account number, 2,000 for this particular trade for 577 days out. Okay. If you have any additional questions, please reach out to me. Again, that is pins. So we talked about pins by AMZN, SPX, which was a lotto trade towards the end of the day. And other than that, folks, we did Walmart, which I just showed you, and how I incorporated the TTM squeeze. So overall, it was a really good day. I really appreciate you guys here. I appreciate your participation. The more people I talk to, the more I realize it's just beginning to be summer. A lot of people are on vacation. A lot of people are just kind of doing their thing. So don't forget to check in. You could still make money while you're having fun, and I hope that I'm doing my best to show you that. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you guys soon. See you in the morning. Please be here 30 minutes before.